Okay, well, I'm assuming that takes us very nicely onto Latex Dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
Seamlessly.
And seamlessly onto Latex Dreams, and I guess you've kind of touched on it there, the life that you were living before.
Yeah,
the things you were doing.
Yeah, it's again like when you step back into this song, like these are moments that like where you're trying to find, you're trying to explore who you are, who you want to be, and that's in like direct contrast to the person that you knew you were, you know, and all of these things are bubbling up in your life, but some of them are comfortable, some of them are uncomfortable, but it's all you know, and I think this one was like, this is kind of the precursor. This is like when you're nervous and you want to walk through the door of a club, but you're not really sure if you're going to get in, and like it was, you know, and then you'd like suddenly you're surrounded by, you know, all of this fucking like chaos, and you just sit in it and you watch for a little while. You don't even have to partake. You just take it all in. And for me as an artist, it was enough to just sit in those places sometimes and just like watch the absolute madness around me. And it was the first time in my life that like I was, you know, I'd been married, you know, I had a house, I had a guy, I used to like work on my garden and stuff. I've got a beautiful daughter, but I was, you know, I was then coming out of a divorce, and I was processing that, and I was trying to understand like my new life, like, you know, which was now on tour, and so I would find myself on tour. Like one day I would be in a friend's artist studio in LA, you know, the next day I'm in a club which I just never felt comfortable at, like being there. The next time I'm having like a decent meal, and the next day we're eating burgers, like chilling, like we're eating pizza in our studio. Like our life was chaos, you know, like it was all up and down. And like throughout of that I was trying to figure out like what was important to me and who I was. And with this song, like, it came quite late in the day to me, anyway, like in the writing of the album. But it was one of those moments where I was actually able to like laugh about the whole situation. Do you know what I mean? Which is such a beautiful thing, because when you suddenly see yourself like, and the chaos that you've surrounded yourself with, like, you know, all these things that make you feel better, and then you realise like how ridiculous a lot of it is. Like, if you have at that moment the power to laugh about it, it's incredibly powerful.
It's almost that turning point, a little bit, isn't
it? Oh yeah,
there are many other kind of ups and downs to go, but that laughter, that moment when you're like, what am I doing?
It's a reset, because you're just like, man, this is fucking ridiculous and absolutely hilarious, and who the fuck are you? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, but it's also like, you know, you've got to be able to celebrate that, because it's a lot of people's like, that's their life, that's what they love, and that's how they feel validated and pure, you know. And for me it was just, so that with Latex Dreams, you know, when you hear that snare and the closed hi-hat and the riff kicks in, like, I hear that even now when we play it live in soundcheck, or when we play it live on stage, like I hear that little snap, and I'm just immediately like, I just break a big, it's like, it's the sound of like hilarity to me, and then I just start like getting this swagger on, and I just like croon this ridiculous song, and it's like, you know, feel like Frank Sinatra just at his worst, you know, like.
And when Frank had written these three, was it obvious to you, Dean, that these three were sitting together musically as well? Did they have to kind of all intertwine into each other?
I think because by the time we were writing this, we were quite deep into writing the album, and at that point all the music starts to really sort of like fit, and you feel the gaps, and it kind of starts to become really instinctive. You think less and it just comes out. But I think the fun thing for me with this one in particular was that it was just the room to be a bit sexier on guitar as well. Like there's definitely like the lyrics set the tone for the music that we're trying to make, and the feel. And I just remember just enjoying the where this song sat in kind of tempo and feel, and in the studio we had a lot of fun with just like kind of getting the sounds to sort of suit that thing. When you say it starts, it's straight away the same for all of us on stage. Everyone's shoulders just drop a little bit.
It's the hope, isn't it? It's like the hope of a night out, you know, like when you're at the very beginning and you pour that first pre-drink,
you sent the text,
and you're like, this is gonna be a great night. And then you get to Supervillain, and you're like, this is the reality of my night.